Welcome,
All
welcome,
right.
welcome, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Natan Verhovsky. I am your host with the most. I am here with the wonderful Heidi Aderman. Today is the Musical Prosperity Forum. So if you are looking to thrive in the music industry, on whatever side you're coming in from, engineer, your own studio, you're a musician, you're a producer, you're all the above. So many of us wear more than one hat usually, right? So anywhere you're coming from, today is that day that we're looking to see how we can just raise that up a little bit to the next level. Heidi's here to help amplify creativity. She's here in case you were looking on the back end to help master some financial. She's looking to make sure that there's a brand that's built around resilience. And in the music industry, that's so important because without that resilience, flash in the pan, right? And that's part of that. She'll be able to help navigate some of those industry challenges. Her background comes from decades, both in the industry herself and in music in her heart, using it to be able to help those that are looking for extra happiness, extra time, and are looking for a little bit of extra profitability in their music career. So, without further ado, let me pass it over to the wonderful Heidi. Add some meat on the bones. Finish introducing yourself, my dear.
All right. So artists have this unique gift. They can imagine something that doesn't yet exist and like magic map out the steps to bring it to life so that others can feel it, hear it, touch it, see it, or even taste it. And for us, working in the music industry, we might start with a few notes until we've layered all the pieces to match what we hear in our head. For a long time, I didn't realize that I could use this creative gift to have a prosperous music career. I set goals for myself. I worked really hard. Progress felt really, really slow, and it was. And sometimes I thought like it would maybe just be better to give up. But what the real problem was is that just had this vague idea of what wanting to be a rock star was, but I never took the time to actually define what that actually meant for me. And honestly, at that stage of my life, I couldn't. I didn't believe that I could be prosperous. My own self judgment told me I didn't deserve it. And that belief kept me stuck for a really long time. So I know that everyone here tonight is thinking about doing some big things. And maybe you've set some goals for this year. But my real question that I want to know about is, are you really ready to receive prosperity? And so, what are some things that you can think of when I ask, what do you deserve to have in your life? Who feels bold enough to answer that question?
Ooh, I like that. Ladies and gentlemen, I give it away. Who wants to pop in first?
All right.
Repeat the question.
What do you deserve, Mike?
I deserve to keep working hard and getting better
So if I do that,
because my whole career was based on learning things that I didn't know to get to the next step. So I never thought I still to this day don't think I've arrived, but I have higher expectations than most people, you know.
and so because you deserve to work hard to get better,
Got a really good echo
th-
going on.
I noticed that.
Yeah.
That is neat. Maybe do the crazy thing. Just grab your stuff, plug and unplug it back in, old school, Control Alt Delete kind of thing. I've had to do that before, and then ended up getting like of all of us. How many musicians here have ever needed to get new cables? Right? Crazy. Imagine those things actually break down. Who knew? Right?
Yeah.
Sounds like so silly, but I'm like, yes, I've actually had to replace cables. So yes, if you've ever had to because it doesn't work, shout in the comments below. Now I'm gonna
Okay, am I
go.
less echoey now?
Yes.
Yes.
Good.
See?
All good.
Control Alt Delete. Woohoo.
Unplug it and plug it back in. Mysterious works every time. Okay. So if you deserve to work hard to get better, does that mean that you really value your time when you're learning?
Oh, yeah. Well, especially now that I got older, I never used to think I was good enough. Now at least I think I'm good enough. But that's helpful. But I stay busy doing what interests me. And like I think a lot of musicians are specialists. I'm a non-specialist. I do everything. I play rock and roll. I play classical music. I play jazz. I play country western. I write books. I do a whole bunch of stuff instead of like saying, okay, I'm a jazz trumpet player and spent my whole life playing jazz trumpet. So, uh, so for me, it's different. I mean, I think most of the people here have something that like you aspire to be like a great rock and roll singer.
Mm.
That's great. That's one thing. I've got like 10 things I'm doing, so I was never exactly happy because I was never quite good enough. But now I mean, there's always somebody better than you and somebody not as good as you. So if you look at that, you're destroyed. If you
I like
just
that.
live your own life, you're better, I think.
I like
I like
And I
that.
learned to live my own life
I like that. I
right near
like
the
that.
end.
And we even started today off with a question. So let's do this. Let's go around. We still got a couple people popping into the room. Let's go around the room. Everybody, this is going to be a fun exercise. Asking magicians and musicians is the same thing. It's good luck with that. I'm going to ask you to contain yourself to 30 seconds to a minute. Let's go around the room. Everybody, introduce yourself. Tell us not just the haha, where you're calling in from in the weather. We already put that in the chat. Tell us a little bit of why you're here. We are here for the Musical Prosperity Forum. What are you looking for from today? And I will pick the first victim, I mean volunteer. I will go around to my top. Let's start with Michael Malone.
Well, thanks a lot, Nathan. All right, I'll give a quick. So I'm lucky enough to work professionally as a writer, so I have a full-time job, and music has been for many years, like I don't know, a couple decades, something that I love and have been lucky enough to develop, but don't have to depend on financially.
Mm.
So I have lived mostly in Miami for many years, had a band still there, so I still go back occasionally. We get a chance to play. And in Los Angeles, I've been kind of experiencing music in a new way, rehearsing with a group called Music Men's Minds that uses music with people with mental health issues as a way of kind of connecting them, singing in a couple different choirs. So my, music part, sort of transcends out as a number of different avenues. Have done some songwriting, have never, really developed that, don't really quite know how to tap in to that, something that I do enjoy doing. So I'll just stop there. I hope that's a little bit of an overview, hopeful.
Right on.
excellent.
Very cool. Pick the next victim volunteer.
Oh, let's do William Mann.
What was the question? I just signed on. I'm sorry.
Oh, we are just saying hi and introducing ourselves, Nicholas. You didn't miss nothing yet. Don't worry. You can't mess that one up.
Right on. Sorry for being late.
No worries. Welcome,
You're
man.
okay.
William, I
William
think you're
Mann. William Mann is in his man cave.
he wins the award for best man cave of the night. See if you can unmute William. There he is. You're on.
There.
Welcome, sir.
You're live, William. Introduce yourself.
Oh, hello. Can you all hear me?
We can hear you.
Great, great. I'm just running my sound out of a boom box right now. So, but it's getting better as we go along. Kind of clue me in. I got an invite for this work session, but I really don't know what what it's about. I know it's something involving music. Could you clue me in a little bit more?
Sure. So, one of the things I like to do when I bring people together is be able to talk about some of the things that make it difficult or hard for us to work in the music industry. And when you get a bunch of people together, some that have been in the industry for a long time, some are just starting, some are in the middle, you get a bunch of different perspectives. So oftentimes when you leave these meetings, number one, you might hear somebody doing something that's similar to a project you're working on. You might be able to collaborate. Number two, you're definitely going to leave with some ideas of what you could be working on next to make your life a little bit more musically prosperous.
Okay, that sounds great.
Cool.
That's why we
So,
love these
William, tell
get-togethers.
us a little bit about you.
Well, excuse me. I'm nowadays I'm retired. I was in the music early on, and I did a lot of music, a little touring, that type of thing. Mostly I do recording still today. I also do some business stuff. Uh, if we're all on LinkedIn, I think, and you know, anything, I get into all kinds of stuff on the side. But once in a while, I get a good music venue that comes along. I meet people that are more professional in the music business, and that really helps. And when that goes on, uh, I make some money and things like that. Uh, and I prefer to live off the grid. I have animals. I have dogs, cats, and things like that. And I don't know. Uh, like I said, I mostly play guitar right now, uh, but I do play bass and drums and some keyboards, and also write a song now and then.
Where are you
Right
joining
on.
us from?
So, didn't mean to interrupt.
Where are you joining us from, William?
Did I interrupt something?
Oh no,
No,
Heidi
I
was
was
just
just
asking where you're calling in from, man. It's okay. We will come back in case we're having some sound issues. No worries. So let's go around the room because introductions, I didn't want to take too long. I wanted to get quick in so we can get to the meat of tonight. Let's go with Nicholas.
Hey guys, Nicholas. I'm a multidisciplinary artist and musician based in San Francisco. My artist name is Zoolook, Zoolook, which is inspired by the 1984 seventh studio album by Jean-Michel Jarre, the French composer. Um, I just finished my film degree and I just released my debut album and I'm working on the second album. And I've really been kind of not retired. I'm active. It's just that I've been working for other people the last 25 years. I produced Dead Mouse first album, Get Scraped, in 2005. I worked with Wyclef Jean of the Fugees in 2002. Worked with the Beastie Boys, Grand Royal Records in 2008. And then Adobe kind of recognized my skills as a designer, and I decided to go solo and create a universe, music, film, art, and comics. And I've been doing that ever since. And yeah, when I saw this meeting and connected with Heidi on LinkedIn, I'm like, this is kind of cool. I do publish a reggae magazine called Irie. We're in our 13th year. I've interviewed Sting and Shaggy when they did their album together, I think in 2017, maybe. Uh, Gonna do gosh, the Cimarrons from England next month in February for the February reggae edition, the reggae month edition of Irie magazine, and it's a magazine for independent artists. So you guys are welcome to go to the site iriemag.com. But yeah, That's me. I play 5-string bass and keyboards. And I do what my music is considered down tempo, chill. I'm into dub reggae. I guess you can liken my music to like Thievery Corporation. That's my kind of style because I like to tell a story through music. Yeah.
Awesome. You can put those links in the chat too so that we can click and
Okay.
get there quickly.
Cool.
Thanks.
All
Where are you
means,
calling from?
San Francisco, California.
Okay, awesome. Thank you.
Yeah, you bet. Thank
by
you.
all means, everybody, throw some contact info in the chat. Unless you're driving, Robert, quit it. All right. Throw your contact info in the chat. I will put in Heidi's there. I'll put mine in as well. I'll take 30 seconds, introduce myself quickly if you don't know who I am. I've been an elite energy coach for about 30 years. I started at Cirque du Soleil. I worked with Olympians, national sports teams, had about 15,000 people come through my hands in the last 30 years. Wrote a couple best-selling books on energy. And then COVID hit. And I had to pivot and come online. And I thought, this can't be hard. I'm a coach in real life. And it was awful. The tack didn't work. The marketing sounded horrible. I constantly felt dumb. And it just made me feel like there's got to be a way to stop this for others. So I founded Allura over as a not-for-profit. And for us, we're a public relations house that looks specifically at those that are looking to hunt whales, that are looking for people that are C-suite executives, leaders. And we put on these kinds of incredible events. We have free and paid communities and wonderful talks where we really believe the tide raises all boats. So if I can do anything to help you shine a brighter light on who you want to reach out to me. My contact's there. I highly suggest everybody reach out to Heidi. What we're doing today is topical and 60,000 foot overview. Booking a one-on-one with her. There is an incredible tool. I'm not even going to mention it. I'm just going to say I'm not going to spill the beans. Heidi's going to mention it at the end, but book a one-on-one with her. Do the thing, meet with her, and I'm convinced that it'll be worth your time. Lean back on me for sure. Okay, so enough from all of me. Let me pull this on over. Carol, if you can speak, let me get you to unmute and pop in, say where you're calling in from, a little about you. Got to unmute you first, though, my dear.
Carol's hiding.
She
I'm
sees it
here.
now.
I found it. Okay.
So there you are.
I hear an echo. Do I lower my volume or what?
No,
Of all people, I'm going to say do not unplug it and plug it back in. Good God, woman, just don't. Who knows what you're unplugging? You might do the wrong thing.
you're connected on two different sources, though. That's what's causing the echo.
The phone's on. Wait a minute. The phone.
Yes, if you could do one off or
Ah.
just or voluming
Hang
or
on.
something, then you're golden.
I'm sorry. There we go. I got it. I turn it off. Hello? Almost.
Nice.
I think that's better.
Yes.
Okay, I'm a piano player. Acoustic, obviously. Okay, for 30, 40 years, I was one of 5 people who played all the auditions for every musical theater show that came from Broadway to LA. And after that, I started teaching people how to audition, how to not screw up their auditions. I've written 12 musicals for children, and they're done all over. I finally wrote my first grown-up musical, and I've been having a bear of a time trying to get it on, because anybody who knows me knows I write kiddie stuff. That's basically my story. One of my version of Alice in Wonderland is going to be playing in Hollywood next month, called Alice.
Right on. That is awesome.
Thanks for joining us, Carol.
I don't know how to turn the thing off.
All right, let's see. Let's hear from Robert because I think I saw that he wasn't in the car anymore. So I think he
Yes.
can unmute and talk.
I am no longer in the car.
All right.
I am a 30-year touring veteran. I was in a band for about 24 years. We were pretty successful. We kind of built it up from the ground up. We were very indie oriented. And right the year before COVID, I have 2 daughters and they were getting a little bit, I just wanted to spend more time with them. So I got out of the band and transitioned into some voiceover work and some scoring. And then COVID hit and then everything dried up. And I started a business with a couple of friends of mine making vinyl LPs. We bought into a pressing plant in Europe, and that was going very well for a while. And then everybody else in the country expanded their capacity, so it became very competitive all of a sudden. And now I'm kind of like angling to get back into creative work, but having been kind of out of the creative side of it for the better part of 5 years, it's a little creaky getting back into it.
I understand that.
So I figure anything you can do to kind of reach out and meet with other people, and you never know what kind of inspiration comes out of that.
That's right. I always say that you're only one conversation away from that one piece you were looking for. Oh, wait. I missed a word. A conversation with a stranger.
Indeed.
All right. So let's hear from St. Josh. Introduce yourself.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, my name is St. Josh. I'm a hip hop artist based in Orlando, Florida. So I focus on positive and conscious hip hop. I produce custom music and I license music for major brands. So I work with like ads, TV, film. I've had music used by the NFL, Fox, NBC, major sports teams like Auburn University. So just anything like media related that needs custom hip hop music, pretty much. So that's like the overview of what I do.
Some thanks. And you're in Orlando, Florida.
That is correct.
Did you
Yes,
say that?
Orlando.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. How about Eric? Can't see him.
If you're available, pop in, pop on.
Hello, can you hear me?
There
We
we go.
can.
Good job.
Hi, my name is Eric. My stage name, my nickname is E Maximus. I'm from Oakland, California. I've been performing hip hop for the last 20 years. I've been doing production independently for the last 7, and I'm in the process of working on another project, and I'm seeking funding for my production company that I'm working on. We do take AI graphics and digital media and put background music to it. I was going to school for it, but it got a little expensive, so now I'm looking for a way to fund my business, and I'm working on a project, a hip hop project. That's me.
All right. Awesome. Thanks, Eric. Steve looks busy, but he's closer to the camera, so I think he can unmute and introduce himself.
Sorry, I'm cooking dinner here, but
All
I can
right.
talk. We're having
I've got so many multitaskers. I love it.
we're having salmon here. We have some salmon and tilapia for the kid who likes tilapia. So, all right, I can talk.
Excellent.
We're gonna have to make those fish swing.
Of course, the dogs have to bark as soon as I'm going to talk. So,
Of course.
So I'm with the great folks here on the call. I may be just a little bit of a unicorn, and so my background in music. I have a doctorate in cello performance from Indiana University in Bloomington, and have been a music professor for over 30 years. And I think one of the great things that I've been able to do in a previous season of life was to start and create a inner city music conservatory in West Philadelphia that provided free music lessons to the at-risk youth in the community. And of course, various recessions come and go, and that particular program was not able to continue. But I've taught in higher ed at a number of places. And before my kids came along, I was touring the world as a concert solo cellist, performing concertos with orchestras around the world. And then kids came along, and that came to a screeching halt. And I had to kind of focus my efforts more locally. So 19 years ago, started Camerata Philadelphia here in the Philadelphia area, and we continue a concert season throughout the year, as well as started 17 years ago the Port City Music Festival in Wilmington, North Carolina. You can look this all up on the web, and we continue forward with that. But in order to be able to do the music the way I wanted to, once we had the recession back in 2008, 9, 10, 11, and the inner city conservatory dried up, we needed to kind of continue to be able to provide, and took on project management. Hold on. Broccoli. You don't want to overcook the broccoli. No one likes soggy broccoli, right? Hold on. And then continued, so did project management in digital marketing, design agencies. And so today, I find myself as the corporate global head of accessibility at Merck Pharmaceutical. And when I think about kind of the trajectory of my career, I think the thing that is most important is that access, providing access for whatever it is that you're doing. So when I was doing the inner city conservatory, we were providing free lessons, we were providing access to music for the at-risk youth in the neighborhood. For Camerata Philadelphia, as well as the Port City Music Festival, all of our concerts are free and open to the public, making great music accessible to everyone. That kind of translated into what I happen to be doing at Merck at the moment. I wrote our corporate policy for accessibility, and I do a lot of public speaking at a lot of conferences, both in the United States and in Europe as well. And it's really the idea of making whatever it is that you're doing accessible to everyone. So this is what I continue to do today. I should also say that I am a cancer patient, in no evidence of disease since the last 2 years. And but in contrast to this, I'm also a two-time Ironman triathlete, and continue to do that and really push things forward. So I think, especially in the last week, with the attack on diversity, equity, inclusion, which is extremely important, what remains the same is that disability inclusion is relevant to everyone, because we're all part of the human race. And whether we were born with a disability, or whether we had a life incident about a disability, or we're certainly all aging into disabilities, this is something that is relevant. And one thing I'd like to call out, happening on in mid-July of this year in Washington, D.C., we're having the Wallowability Fest. This is basically a performing arts event, really celebrating musicians with disabilities. And so check it out, Wallowability.
Very cool.
And looking to, I'm part of that steering committee, and I think the idea of really celebrating, regardless of our abilities, the beauty of music. So I'll stop there and continue salting my sand.
You guys have all got some sparks going in my head for who I need to introduce you guys to. So
Yep,
I really hope you book an appointment with me, because I'm just ooh. You guys are doing such amazing things. This is so cool. I love this. So we just have Mike left, right? Mike B?
Well, I mean, I kind of told you, but I'll give you a quick synopsis. I started in college. I played the skirmish for alto saxophone and orchestra with Henry Temianka, who was the leader of the Stradivarius String Quartet. And 6 months later, I was with the Stan Kenton Band. And then I went to the Woody Herman Band. And then I went to the Paul Horn Concert Ensemble. Spent 4 years in Las Vegas doing hotel work and playing with the symphony and jazz bands till 5 o'clock in the morning. Moved to LA, worked at Disneyland for a year, worked in dinner theater for about 10 years, and simultaneously worked with the Long Beach Opera. Then worked at the Pantages, the various theaters in town, and then became a motion picture guy, playing clarinet, saxophone, flute, and oboe. And in the meantime, I was a music contractor at the Frito Center for the Performing Arts for 30 years. And I contracted the Ray Charles record that his last record that made triple platinum. That's the short version. Oh, and I had a great uh, small group, just voice, myself, and piano called Music. And we were on the Columbia Artists concert tour for a while till I folded. That's it.
Incredible.
And I wrote a book.
That's it.
I wrote a book, and I'm writing a new book. And I'm going to do my 12th CD this year.
Excellent. Awesome. I think we got all the introductions this time. Nicholas?
Mom did it.
Can I just say one thing to Steve?
Please, Nicholas.
Steve made a comment about inclusivity and so forth, especially for the disabled and so for musicians. I just spent 3 weeks in Japan, and I have seen the future. I mean, I'm wearing a Tower Records zip hoodie. They have Tower Records in Japan where people are buying vinyl records and CDs. But everywhere I stayed at, there's the elevator has buttons up and down for people who can stand and press the button, but they also have a lower one for those in wheelchairs. They have these little things that pop off the ground for the blind to know how close they are and so forth. So I was just blown away by how the Japanese culture and the lifestyle and the very kind people spending 3 weeks in Tokyo, Osaka, and Kyoto changed my life. And that's the reason why I wanted to get on this, because one of my missions is to get vinyl and CDs back here in the US and have places where you go to. I've been in San Francisco. I think we have 20 vinyl shops. They all carry my music, and it's a source of income for independent artists. So anyway, I just want to throw that out to Steve for sharing what he does and so.
Yeah. Actually, I was just in Tokyo the first week of December, and that was one of the things that I noticed was just the infrastructure is more disability friendly, as it is in parts of Europe, such as Spain, in particular. So yeah, the infrastructure can be, it tells a story, definitely.
Yep.
Totally agree.
Excellent. So the question that I had to ask today for everyone had you looking a little bit deeper on the goals that you set this year. And the reason I asked the question is because I had set these goals, but it seemed like I always missed them. And what the real issue was much deeper. It was that I didn't believe that I deserved to have the things that I was setting the goal for at the time. So when you think about your goals that you've set for this year and the projects that you're going to be working on, what can you think of? What are some things that you think of when I ask the question, what do you deserve in your life this year?
Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
Okay. We're talking about personal goals. And,
Well,
it's good to have personal goals, but what I've found in my life is I can't achieve my personal goals with the help of someone else, without the help of someone else. Just impossible.
That's a good one.
I mean, every job I've ever gotten, the first job I got was because my music teacher was able to send me on a job, which doesn't happen anymore. And then the next job I got was because somebody was quitting a band and recommended me, and they were all my friends. So the people that we meet when we're young that are our friends can help us a lot later on in life with our own goal.
So would you say that you deserve to have deeper relationships?
I think I think my relationships are good. I think I deserve to have more opportunities
Hmm.
because I mean I've done a lot. I'm happy with every day I'm happy. So I mean, is that the end result? You want to be happy or you want to get something done? I've probably done both, so I'm happy.
Awesome. Who else? Who else can think of something that they deserve to have in their life this year? Carol, I'll help you with the mute button here. Ask you to unmute. There you go.
Got it. I think I deserve at least a regional production of my show because it just
Yeah.
it's the right time and it's good, and I need to have that done. That's all.
That's
I need to get out of the hospital that I'm in right now, and hopefully that'll be.
yeah. Oh, right. Tomorrow. Got my fingers crossed for you too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would want to say one more thing about what I need.
Okay.
I want somebody to do the dirty work for me.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll give somebody 50% of whatever I make if they can make money for me because I got so much product I don't know what to do with. You know,
Bingo.
I'm more interested in creating the product than selling it. And Heidi's given me ideas about how to improve that, but I don't want to do them. So
I'm right there with you. There's a lot of ones I don't want to do either. But that goes back to what you were talking about with building the right team, asking the right people for help.
Yes.
Awesome. Who else has something that they deserve to have this year?
Can I just tell Mike I played the Pantages too? So
Did you hear her, Mike?
Oh,
yeah,
good.
I conducted there.
Mike or Carol, say that again.
I conducted at the Pantages. You mentioned the
yeah,
Pantages. That's why. That's all.
the Pantages where?
The Pantages in Hollywood.
Yeah, that's where I worked for like 15 years.
No, I did Rogers and Hammerstein Cinderella with Steve Allen and Jane Meadows.
Oh,
I
well,
was
that was
I
before
was
my
the
time.
first woman conductor, and I think the last woman conductor they ever hired. But that's another story.
Yeah, they were doing Sondheim by the time I got there.
Yeah, I've seen it. Yeah.
All right, Mike Malone, I see you raise your hand.
Yeah, so I love the point you're making. I think it's kind of speaks to a broader issues like are we to ask for what we want, and then underneath that is sort of a sense. I remember reading years ago there was a book called Money is My Friend. So the idea is if we are undermining our own prosperity, right, by thinking that we're not entitled to this, so that, I mean, it's a lot of work, and it actually is work that I do as part of an international men's training program that looks at, some of the issues underneath that block our own prosperity. But in the short term, for me, for all the performances that I do now, it's really, asking for just compensation. I'm thinking when I was in Miami, my band played for like the last 6 or 7 years for something called the Beaux Arts Festival on the University of Miami campus, which was all about art, all the painters and all that. But when it came time to pay the musicians, like they barely had a budget. And we're thinking, oh, as a musician, my art, the way that I practice, the way that, the money, the time, everything that I put into my art is every bit as valuable to me. So why am I not justly compensated? So now it's kind of with St. Patrick's Day coming, I have a repertoire of kind of Celtic and Irish music that I play. So there is an elderly center that wants to do a performance. So I'm saying, well, I am glad to pay, but I'm not going to do it for free. So what's your budget? So it's basically asking for just compensation. I'm at that point now. Yeah.
That's an interesting thing you said. because for a while I was doing, I had my little production company, and I was doing different show. I do sound lights and stagings and celebrities and all that stuff. And
Mhm.
the people will pay more for a tree in the corner of the room than they will for a band. And
Yeah,
I know in that situation that we're wallpaper anyway, but that's not the point. The point is that you've got to get there and be paid. But
yeah.
the tree got more money.
I got you. I've been using a little bit the platform called Gig Salad that connects gigsalad.com that connects musicians with, with venues. And it's amazing that but they don't understand about musicianship. Like they'll ask for a solo musician to play like Led Zeppelin and Pink Floyd for 4 hours. And you go
Yeah.
like, come on. There's
Well,
like
those are
just
on the
this lack
radio,
of
so why
understanding
can't
of what
you do
goes
it,
into
right?
it.
Well, come with my karaoke track, I guess.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Anybody else want Nicholas?
Yeah, I want to tag along with Mike. I think we deserve more when it comes to the value of streams. I think we are not influencers. We're musicians. We're storytellers with music. We're not content creators. And what's happening is we're being put into this big pot as if our music is just content. No, there's a lot that goes behind what we do. And when the CEO of Spotify can make $345 million for 2024 for being CEO, and I'll be honest, I took home $15,000 in streaming altogether. Not from that Spotify, Apple, all those platform ones. We should be doing more than that. And with Bandcamp, you have a platform with Bandcamp that actually gives you more money from it. My own website, people can buy my music and download it multiple times. If they've lost the MP3, they can download it again. I think we deserve to have, whether it's an app or just a system that allows us to put our music on our site, and we don't need a social media platform for people to find us. If I'm Zuluk, go to zuluk.com and you can hear my music and you can pay it and download it. But right now we're forced to go to Apple, and Apple has a paywall that says 9.99, so you don't really get to own it. You're stuck with from your song, the AI will take you to another song, so you're probably going to get one play and that's it for a month or so. So I think we deserve a better industry, number one, in music industry that actually supports the creatives and allows us to be who we are and allow us to give us a sustainable income to live. There's a great thing on YouTube where a senator asked Daniel Els, um, how many people are making money? He says, "Oh, our top tier artists are making money." Yeah, that's Taylor Swift and the eight other artists that you guys push, plus your AI. But she told him that they were making $12 a month. I can't live off $12 a month. I don't know anybody here that can live off $12 a month. So yeah, I'm with Mike. We have to figure this out, and it has to happen sooner or later before AI takes over everything, and we cease to
So
exist.
the question becomes, and certainly, like I've always been a union musician, but the union's not going to help us. They don't even understand they're 20 years behind. They don't even know what's going on. They're still, and as far as AI is concerned, they don't know what to do. And that's gonna. I mean, I think that's part of the dumbing down of America is AI because it thinks for you instead of being. I mean, it's creative in its own way, but it's creative in a very simple, stupid way. And but I think that's all people expect anymore, especially in the media, because like I did a really nice solo in this movie called Up, and when the movie came out, you couldn't hear it. But if you bought the CD of it, you could hear it. But it was buying CDs of movies, So the thing is if the union's not going to, who's going to do it? Who's going to start it? In the old days, I forget the president's name. When recording was just getting started, he saw that it was going to destroy the live music business. And I mean, I think he shot a couple people to get the union going and a strong uh, backup for recording musicians. And, recording musicians doing movies and stuff can make a lot of money these days. Not so much doing records, like you say. It's just the people, Taylor Swift's, and the name people. But when I was young, there was payola. I mean, you did a CD. I mean, you did a 45, and you went to the different radio stations and put some money in everybody's hands, and they played it. You got famous, and that's how it worked. Now, there's no payola. There's the artists don't make money on their records. They make money on their personal appearances. They might make $15,000, $20,000 on the record, maybe even 100,000, but they're making 500,000 to 750,000 a concert. That's where they make their money.
It's crazy.
So I mean, so what's like we're little guys. We're all of us here. We're little guys, compared to that thing up there, and it's all about publicity and how you get your publicity, and is it the record company, or is it who you are, or is it because you're pretty, or because you put on a good show? And the other thing about music is now that it's a show as much as it's music. I mean, you don't go to a concert anymore. I mean, if you go to hear a country western band, they do it like we used to do it. They walk up to the microphone and they sing or they play. Now, Taylor Swift has dancers. She has pyrotechnics. She has props. She has 4 trucks that come in a week before she plays to set everything up. So it's a whole different world that we're not included in because we don't have that kind of money.
That's where we got to come up with some.
I have met some people through networking that are working on just this problem. And so there are communities that are addressing this, and I think it's pretty cool. Like, I can share some of the stuff with you guys in some emails after. I gotta search for some of it, and I have a referral link for this other community. But man, there are other people that definitely feel that problem. We need a place where fans can get music easier. And
if you have certain ways to do that, and maybe we can all start taking the resources down, and all of us put them on our websites, and encourage all our friends to put them on their websites, and have like a little underground thing going here where we're trying to get everybody work that wants to work.
I'm glad you said that, because that's kind of what it's
going to something different.
It's what it's going to need to take, is all of us to team up and say, you know what, we want something different. Nicholas?
Yeah, Mikey, there's a guy named Mark Stamko. Wanted to invite him to this. We're actually featuring on the cover of the magazine the end of this week, and he does a playlist every Sunday morning. He puts artists from LinkedIn on there, and that's my morning thing on Sunday. I put on a cup of coffee, get a pot of coffee, have my cup of Joe, and I'm listening to 68 songs because I'm trying to help be part of the solution and not part of the problem. And here in San Francisco, our public library has a thing called Bay Beats. And what they've done is every March, they invite all the local artists to submit their album, and these judges will pick them, and they pick 250 artists to have their music included in the public library. They give you a stipend, they pay you to perform live, and for 2 years, anyone can go and become a fan of your music using their library card to check out and listen to your music and so forth. Those are just little things, they're grassroots, but you know what? It makes a big difference. I got $500 for performing live and also getting a license for that for 2 years. So these little things, there's so many libraries that if we could do this, every state, every freaking library. I mean, they have books from authors. I used to check out CDs, old reggae CDs from the library.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so there's a solution. We just need to network and grow what you're doing, grow it bigger. And I actually pitched to Bay Beats. Wouldn't it be cool? You got 365 days in a year. Pick an artist and let everyone buy one single from that artist. Can you imagine? They would probably make a salary for the year in that one day. And then you pick the next artist and so forth. And we paid for it. It's cheaper than getting a cup of coffee at Starbucks. You're buying a single for what, 99 cents or $1.99, but you multiply that by 1,000 people. Hey,
it's real.
new strings on my guitar, Go ahead.
I wonder how
Uh,
many people are really interested because they think music's free. John Lennon said, you know, music's free to everybody except the publisher. Yeah, and in San Francisco, I mean, you live in a great place because it's a very musical town, and I think you probably even have clubs left. I mean, when I used to go up there, there was clubs everywhere. There's no
Yeah.
clubs down here. Maybe 5 clubs in LA. You know.
We have great music, the music hall, great music hall down the street from me. Because I live in the building that used to be the boarding house. You remember? Do you ever hear of the boarding house
No.
in San Francisco? They tore it down and they built the condos that I'm living in now. But Steve Martin and Robin Williams had their first comedy show in this building. The bones of it was here that I'm living in now. And Bob Marley performed here and so forth. So yeah, we don't have a whole lot of clubs, but we still have some great ones, you know. But we do have a good music community, and we have Amoeba Music Record, the record store, and a lot of vinyl shops that allow local artists to come in and drop CDs off, and they'll give you $10 for a vinyl, and they'll go and mark it up a little bit to get some money back from it. But at least I made $10 on one of my albums, you know.
It just seems to me that the people that are really interested in music are a minority. And we're lucky we live in the United States because a minority could be 50 million people. You know, it's just
right,
getting to that 50 million
Right.
because we're not going
right.
to get to everybody. Everybody thinks music's free,
Yeah.
you
Yeah,
know.
and we don't need everybody, like you said. Like the ones that actually know what they're supporting with their music, are the ones that, are gonna support us and a lot of other people too. Steve, I saw you had your hand up, and Josh, you have your hand up, and we're
Yep.
running low on time. So I did want to hear what
Yeah.
you had to say, though.
So yes, so certainly. Couple of things. And just it's great conversation. I love hearing it. And I think it's worth kind of drawing the distinction. I mean, there's the business of music, which really has nothing to do with music. It's business. It's completely business. Decisions are made that are outside of the artist's control about what business folks in a conference room think the market needs and is going to get the biggest returns. So there's that aspect. And then the other aspect is the artistry, the craft of what we do. And I think everyone on the call can relate that this is why we're drawn to this discipline is the craft. It's like we can't help ourselves. You know, even though I work in a major global pharmaceutical, I very much use my skills as a cellist, a chamber musician, and a conductor to do everything that I do globally for a multinational organization. I am conducting at a global scale, making sure everyone is on the same page, on the same beat, and playing in tune. So that's just one thing I, would like to call out. And another one is that with my experience with Camerata Philadelphia, as well as the Port City Music Festival, one of the things that was, say hello to Mila here. She's saying hello.
Oh,
Here's Mila. She has got a twin, so I got two of them that look exactly the same. Yeah, say hello. So uh, is that from the very start, 19 or 17 years ago, all of our concerts were free and open to the public, which means that if they valued this, then they would support it. And I would say that, especially with the Port City Music Festival, I would not be going into my 17th season if I had started charging tickets at any point. Because if this is a value, then your audience base, they're going to nurture this, they're going to take care of it, they're going to sustain it and keep it going. You can write grants, you can do all this stuff, but it's those private donors, those big private donors that really find this as a value. And so I'm not suggesting any course of action. I'm just relaying my experience in that as artists, I think it's important to keep in mind there's business and there's the craft of what we do. Very important. The craft is personal. And also, if the um, if our audience really values what we're doing, then they will take care of you. And so to position them and put them into that position to say, okay, if you want this festival to continue, then it needs to be a priority for you.
Well,
So,
Steve, I love what you're saying, my friend, but we have got two other people. I need to get a quick
Yep.
comment. We are out of
Sure.
time. Thank you so much.
Yep.
St. Josh, give us a quick little
Hey.
1-1. We got a boogie.
Yes. I just wanted to add into everything that was going on. So I did want to say that payola essentially still exists. It's just being disguised. I've met with people at major record labels like Sony, Def Jam, and all the people that are managing giant artists. I've had my music listened to by Kanye West manager and all these people, and I've learned that the business is still very much payola based. It's just hidden and disguised in favor. So and everything that Steve and Mike and Nicholas has said is very true. The content has become the new avenue for music, where you are more looked at as an influencer than a traditional artist. The new revenue model would be artists direct to fans, is how they were talking about, and I think it's so important for artists to build community because the typical A&R doesn't exist anymore. They don't do artist development. Instead, they look at artists to develop yourself and build your own fan base before a label wants to step in and help invest into somebody. So yeah, and then like for the business side, like he was saying, it's so important for marketing and promotion. That is what is going to really get you to that next level. You have to be
Well, I have
visible. You have to, yeah.
Thank you so much for that. Guys
Yeah.
and girls, let me ask you, because I'm going to grab this from the beginning of the conversation in case you came in late. Contact information from Heidi and myself, highly recommended. If anything that Heidi can reach out to and give you a little extra on. Heidi, tell them the magic of what they're going to grab when they get a one-on-one with you. Of course, wonderfully better on unmute.
Unmuted, yes. Okay. So when you do one-on-one with me, not only will I get you those referrals that you've sparked some ideas in my head just from listening to you tonight, but I also have an assessment to see how prepared you are for bringing musical prosperity into your life. So just a short 10 questions to find out what things you might be missing, find out where you're at. There is no bad score on this assessment, but it's definitely going to help you come up with a strategy for what your next steps are for what you want to accomplish this year. And that is all.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for joining us. Now, next month, the topic changes, the conversation changes, the people changes. Come on back. If it serves you, bring a friend. We're not trying to turn this into a networking event. Don't bring 5 friends. One, if the kind of conversations that matter here could matter to somebody else and it could help them, bring that one.
Are
We
there
appreciate
contact numbers for the people that spoke?
Oh, yes, absolutely. Heidi will be able to grab. So everybody who wants to put their contact info in the chat, go for it.
Oh,
And then if you are smart, you can save the chat. And if you are ineligible because you might be in a hospital bed, Heidi will grab that and send it over to you. Carol.
Yeah, just send me a message and let me know if you weren't able to get the contact information from the chat. I'll send it along to all you. And there's going to be a recording from this as well, so you can go back and catch any little tidbits that you might have missed.
yay.
Excellent. Excellent.
Awesome. So before we go, does somebody want to tell me what your favorite part about this event was?
Favorite part about what?
This event. Nicholas?
I think learning that we all are in the same boat and
Yeah.
better must come. Right? That's what they say in Jamaica. Better must come.
Soon come. Yeah, man.
That's
think
good.
right. Yeah.
That's good. We
Awesome.
are. There's a diversity in this room, but everybody seems to have the same situation. It's well,
Same goals, yeah.
same goals. Yeah.
Yes. Josh says, reach out to Heidi. Wonderful time. Thank you both.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Right.
Thank you
Thanks
very
for
much.
having this forum.
Yay.
Thank
A
you.
pleasure.
You're welcome. Thank you
Bye,
all for
everybody. We'll talk
coming. It
soon.
was so
Bye,
great to
guys.
meet you all.
Bye.
See you next month. Bye.
Thanks so much.
Bye.
Appreciate it. Thank you.